So, as a little to cleanse your palate, here is the Prime Minister or the Premier of Alberta, Canada. I think she recently was just re-voted in. Okay, and here's what she says about the unvaxxed. And this is from I tried to get the date as close as I could get. It was from a couple months ago. Okay, here we go.
During your campaign, you said that not only would you issue an apology to those prosecuted during COVID restrictions, but you would also grant them amnesty. When can we expect those apologies?
So the reporter asked, you promised that you would not. Well, here, let me say it again.
Hi, Ms. Smith, Celine Ballas with Rebel News. During your campaign, you said that not only would you issue an apology to those prosecuted during COVID.
Would you not only issue an apology to those prosecuted during COVID, but you would also
restrictions, but you would also grant them amnesty.
But also grant them amnesty. Okay, so here's what she says.
When can we expect those apologies?
I can apologize right now. I'm deeply sorry for anyone who was inappropriately subjected to discrimination as a result of their vaccine status. I'm deeply sorry for any government employee that was fired from their job because of their vaccine status, and I welcome them back if they want to come back. As for the amnesty, I have to get some legal advice on that, and so I've already asked my staff to request that advice so I can see how we would be able to proceed on that. My view has been that these were political decisions that were made, and so I think that they could be political decisions to offer a reversal. But I do want to get some legal advice on that first.
Would that also have to do with the timeline for the proposed amnesties?
I would have to see if I can do it. I will do it at the earliest opportunity. So I'm hoping within the next week I'll get that legal advice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So isn't that nice? There's someone in power actually apologizing for what they did to the unvaccinated and offering them their jobs back and amnesty from the stupid prosecution that they received for breaking COVID restrictions. Isn't that nice? There's someone in power actually acting responsibly and speaking plainly and not giving me a bunch of propaganda that came out of a big pharma-funded think tank on what she's supposed to say about the unvaccinated now. And who is that woman? That's Premier Danielle Smith. She was sworn in as Alberta's 19th Premier on October 11th, 2022. The Premier chairs cabinet and chooses Alberta's cabinet ministers. That's who that is. Now, she made news when she first got sworn in because she said this, right? Watch this.
The community that faced the most restrictions on their freedoms in the last year were those who made a choice not to be vaccinated. I don't think I've ever experienced a situation in my lifetime where a person was fired from their job or not allowed to watch their kids play hockey or not allowed to go visit a loved one in long-term care or hospital or not allowed to go get on a plane to either go across the country to see family or even travel across the border. So they have been the most discriminated against group that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. That's a pretty extreme level of discrimination that we have seen.
So, of course, she got in trouble for saying that because they wanted her to apologize because of all the minority groups that had been discriminated against. And what she was saying, and of course, she had to say that's not what she's not trying to dismiss that. She was just saying, I don't, even during Martin Luther King's era, they did restrict in the United States. You can only go to certain washrooms, certain water fountains, certain lunch counters, certain restaurants, certain hotels, right? That's what that Green Book is about, right? But the unvaccinated, they weren't allowed to do anything. They couldn't even go to work. So her point is that they were more, it is, when you think about it, it's crazy. Can you imagine if they didn't let all the black people go to work all of a sudden in the United States? Back in the 50s and 60s before they had civil rights. Can you imagine all of a sudden the president just goes, they can't go to work because of safety? What? And they can't travel? So that's the point she was making. And I think it's a good point. Think about that. Think about any other minority group, and that if you did to them what you did to the unvaxxed. You didn't let them travel. You didn't let them go to work. You didn't let them visit their dying parents. You didn't let them eat at any lunch counter. You didn't let them stay at any hotel. I think that's a lot. That's a lot of discrimination. So that's the premier of Alberta. So look at that. Somebody with enough sense to actually say it, just like a normal human being would. That's not in a cult, because that's what COVID was, a cult. And there's a lot of people still in it. Hey, everybody, only $10 to go see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny, at jimmydore.com. And come see us do a live show. We're going to be in Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Bakersfield, California, Baltimore, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Rosemont, and Chicago, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, and more. We're going to be in New York, Stamford, Connecticut, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, San Diego, everywhere. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all our tickets.